Welcome to our Amud Yom Shir. Welcome to our Dear Shu Beit Shemesh Amud Yom Shir. I want to thank Rabbi Avram Fuchs, my friend, one of the people of Dear Shu, who's been helping me very much regarding this year in many ways, materials, advertising. Thank you very much to Avram Fuchs from Dear Shu. And let's just continue. We're a little bit behind. Today we are inside the Amud Beis, towards the bottom of the page, but we're really in the fifth wide line. And this is a bit of an agarata to do with Daladamas B'Shus Abim. We said yesterday that a person who is Maivir Daladamas B'Shus Abim, if a person takes an object and picks it up, transfers the Daladamas B'Shus Abim, either by walking with it or throwing or passing Daladamas, and then it lands Daladamas more than Daladamas away from where he was originally, then he's chayev like any other malacha. It belongs to Oitzo. It belongs to the Av Malacha Oitzo. And the source, there is no source. It's Halacha Mishmesinai. It's something which we learned by tradition, oral tradition from Moshe Rabbenu. Amar B'Dom Shmuel. Mekoishesh. We know the story of the Mekoishesh. Mekoishesh was the person who was a wood collector. He collected wood in the midbar, pieces of wood, and that Mekoishesh, he was punished. They didn't know what to do with him. He was punished by getting skila. They didn't know what to do with him, and then they gave him skila. That was the directive Hashem gave Moshe Rabbenu. We're going to see three opinions regarding what exactly was the Av Melacha that the Mekoishesh was. What was his sin? What was his avera? Which Av Melacha, did he actually transgress? So the first opinion is the wood was already cut. The wood was collected. He just passed it, transferred it daldamas b'shusabim. So it was a malacha, a derivative of hoitzo, a toda of hoitzo. The masnisatana, the Brisa says otherwise. Toilish shava, he was toilish, he was koitzel, he was connected to the ground. He cut it, and that's malachas toilish, which is koitzel, uprooting or harvesting from the ground. That was Av Melocha. The third opinion. Me'amer is when a person collects wood or collects even salt, according to Rava. It's a machlokes in Daf in Gimel Wood Base. When you collect something where in its place of growth, making it into a heap, a pile, you're chayev. And that was the avera. It was me'amer. So either was transferring, or it was koitzer, or it was me'amer, heaping and collecting. Fact the Gemara, Lemainef Kamina, who cares? It's been already, Hava. It's a historical fact. We know it was one of the Lamites Malachos, and he deserves to die, and the rest is history. Why should I care? Who cares? Answers the Gemara L'Kederav. There isn't a Kamina La'alocha for forever. Why? Let's see what Rav says. The Omarav, Matzatz Megillah Storim Be'Rabchia. Yeah, we saw this in Daf Vav Amud Beis. Remember? I found Rav in the house of Rabbi Chia, in yeshiva of Rabbi Chia. Rabbi Chia was his uncle. In my uncle's yeshiva, I found a hidden Megillah, a hidden scroll. Why was it hidden? Because Dvarim Shebal Peh Yetara Shelakoismon. Before the Mishnah, you're not allowed to write things b'chtav. What was oral tradition was supposed to be Bal Peh. And if they had something that they had to remember, they would write it in short and keep it, to themselves. Just me as my own little, memory pad to keep it in corner, but not to advertise. Because of Bey, what was written in Megillah Storim, Isi ben Yehuda Oimer, the Tana Isi ben Yehuda says, Oves Maloches Arboim Choser Achas. Oves Maloches are, as we know, 39, 40 minus 1. Ve'eno Chayav Elo Achas. You only chayav, you did all 39, you only chayav one. What does it mean only one? If you talk about killing, well, you can only kill the person once, not 39 times. The assumption is you only chayav one, even if you did all 39 malachas, you can only be chayav one korban b'shoigig. You did all 39 malachas b'shoigig, you chayav only one. That's not true. That's not true. Achas v'tuloi, is that so? That's not true. Latnan, it says in the famous Mishnah in En Gimel, Oves malachas alboim choser achas, Oves malachas is 40 minus 1, and we ask the question, Minyon Olamali, why does the Mishnah that elaborates the 39 has to tell me 39? I know how to count. Why does the Mishnah have to tell me that there are 39? I can just, go through them and read them. Shimason kulam behelam echad chayav al kol achas v'achas. If he did all of them behelam echad, behelam elochos, that is, not helam Shabbos. Remember, if I forgot to date Shabbos, I'm chayav only one. But if I forgot about all 39 together, you got a bang on the head, and he forgot about all 39 melochos, you chayav on each and every one. The maximum number will be 39, not more, because you're not chayav on avin tolda, just one, both avin tolda. In any event, you can't say that on 39 I'm chayav only one. It's not true. If I do 39 many times, that we chayav per av. I'm chayav chatas per forgetting one av. So if the av, I'm chayav, I'm koitzal, me'amel, toilish, all of them. And therefore, answers the Gemara, so this cannot possibly be the pshat of the Megillah Storim. The Megillah Storim did not tell me I'm chayav only one chatas on all 39. It's not true. Yeah, meduk from the Mishnah, not like that. Ema, therefore, let's tweak the pshat of that hidden, mystical, mysterious Megillah. Eino chayav al achas mehem. Not oinachav el achas. There is one melocha. You're not chayav misa. Yes, we are talking about misa. There's one melocha. Yeah, that, and we don't know which one it is. One of the 39 mystery. We don't know which one of the 39. There's no chiyuv misa. We don't know which one of the 39 you're not chayav misa. Okay, it could be avora, by the way. Remember daf ein avora lalav yotzas, the only lav and no misa. In any event. Now this answers the question of the Mekoishesh. Why? Very good. Now let's try and figure out. Whatever the Mekoishesh did is not that Melacha. There's Melacha X. Melacha X, you're not Chayav Misa. Mystery. Who is that Melacha? Well, we know this is not the Melacha of Mekoishesh. Because it says in the Torah that he did get Misa. According to Rav Yehuda Hamavir, a person who transferred Daladames, which is Hoitzah, really, a told of Hoitzah, is Chayiv Misa. This is not it. Umas Nisin Pshitale, the Toilish Chayiv. The Mishnah says that Toilish is the one that's Chayiv Misa, doing Ktsira, to harvest, to cut something from the ground. Chayiv, not Potum Misa. The Mekoshesh, he died. Very good. According to Bacha Bayakov, Pshitala de Me'amer, the one who's doing Me'amer, the one who's collecting and heaping up is Chayiv. Which means each one will tell you we are Misapka. We have 39 question marks here, but at least I can tell you, let's say Rav Yehuda, Mavir, that's not Mesophic. That's for sure Chayiv. Because I know that that's what Mekoshesh did. Really doesn't help me because we still are in Sophic between all three. But each one from his own perspective knows that if Beis Din has a case of, let's say, Mavir Daladamis, according to Rav Yehuda, surely Chayiv Misa. Okay. Tono Rabbanon. Now more about Mekoshesh. Who was the Mekoshesh? Tono Rabbanon. Mekoshesh, that's Lofchod. Mekoishesh is tzlofchod. What does that mean? We know that the daughters of tzlofchod said to Moshe Rabbenu that their father was not part of the communal sin, the meraglim, etc. They said, no, our father was bechet oimes. He had his own chet and he died upon his own sin. He didn't sin in public. Makes him better. He didn't hate the country. He didn't rebel against Moshe Rabbenu. He had his own private sin that he died. That he died for, that he died because of that sin. Mekoishesh, that's Lofchod. The Mekoishesh, he was Lofchod, the father of the 5 girls, right, who demanded part of the land. He was the Mekoishesh. V'chenu oimer, and it says, how do we know that? It says, Vayu b'nei Yisrael b'midbar, mark the word b'midbar. Vayimtzeu ish, they found a man that was collecting wood or transferring wood, whatever, in the field. V'la'alanu oimer, when we quote now, but not Tzlofchad talking about their father, it says, Avinu meis b'midbar. Our father died in the midbar. Gzerashava midbar. Mala'alan Tzlofchad, Avkan Tzlofchad, Div Rabbi Akiva. Says Rabbi Akiva, just like, obviously, the daughters of Tzlofchad are talking about their father. Mimela, the father of Tzlofchad, he's also the one who was the Mekoishesh in the midbar. Okay. Now, this is what Rabbi Akiva said. Now, Omar lo Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira got upset with Rabbi Akiva, so to speak. Akiva, he's addressing Rabbi Akiva. Ben kach u ben kach ata osid litin esadin. Wow. Akiva, you will have to pay in Shemayim for the way you talk about the Mekoshesh, about Tzlofchad. Why? In Kidvorecha, if you write, and really he was the Mekoshesh, Reb Tzlofchad was Mekoshesh, yeah? At Torah Kisosoi, Vata Megala Oisoi. The Torah didn't write outright, black and white, explicitly, headline in the news and the website, Lahavdil Fatavdolos, Lahavdil. The Torah doesn't write, he was the Mekoshesh. The Torah is writing it in a hidden way. We kind of have to figure it out ourselves. The Torah is covering up for him, not writing black and white that Mekoshesh was Tzlofchad, Vata Megala Oisoi, and you are revealing it to the whole world. That's not nice to do it to the Mekoshesh, to Tzlofchad, right? The Imlav, and if you're wrong, I'm not even sure you're right. I'm not sure I agree with your Gzera Shava. At the Moitzilah Zelos a tzaddik, it's much worse. If not, he was a tzaddik. He died maybe with, as we'll see later, a much smaller sin. We'll see what. It was not a Mechalel Shabbos. It wasn't that bad. You might say Shemra. It's either you say lashon Hara, you're saying something true that people don't know, or you might say Shemra. You're making up things. Not me saying. Rabbi Yehuda says that, yeah? So he's not happy with the way Rabbi Akiva is talking about Tzlofchad. What do you want? Now we're defending Rabbi Akiva. At the end of the day, Rabbi Akiva learned Gzera Shava. Now, Gzera Shava, as we all know, is one of the 13 ways of learning the Midas HaTorah Nidreshes Bain. So if you have Gzera Shava Midbar, it's as much if it's Mefurash. Says Rashi, like his Torah, Mefurash. If the Torah says Midbar, and we know the Torah Shebichtav has to be read with the 13 Midas, it's as if it is Mefurash. And I, Rabbi Akiva, I got this Gzera Shava from my Rebbeim, Midbar. So it's as if the Torah is saying it outright. I'm not revealing something. I'm just reading it with the commentary, with the pshat of my Rebbeim. Answers the Gemara, that's Rabbi Akiva, thank you. Rabbi ben Beseira says no. Gzera Shava loy gomar. Rabbi ben Beseira did not learn that Gzera Shava, which means not every Tana and Amoira had the same Gzera Shava as the other one. Gzera Shava at some point was split to different traditions, and we all know that. We know Ein Odom Dan Gzera Shava Me'atzmoi. You can only do Gzera Shava if you learn it from your Rebbeim. Says Rabbi ben Beseira, thank you, Rabbi Akiva. From my Rebbeim, I never learned it. I don't think this Gzera Shava is right. So you're making up things. That's according to Rabbi Beseira. Tosfos points out, maybe Rabbi Beseira can say, now you can learn it from Rabbi Akiva. So Tosfos says, there's a limited amount of Gzera Shavas in the whole Torah. And Rabbi ben Beseira said, you have maxed it out. It's an excessive one. Yeah, let's say there is, 400 Gzera Shavas in the Torah. This is 401st. I don't accept it. Yeah, and therefore, I don't believe that the Mekoshesh ever did that. So what was the sin? You have to appreciate, they did say, our father sinned. So what was the sin? Ela, according to Rabbi Beseira. Now let Rabbi ben Beseira talk. Ela meheicha, so meicha hava. So really, what was the chait of Tzlofchad? Says the Gemara, mi ve'yapilu hava. If you remember, the Ma'apilim were the people that after the Meraglim already got over the head big time, Tisha B'Av, right? Tisha B'Av, the Meraglim, and the God's Klal Yisrael, and you're going to stay here for 40 years. Then other people, without asking Das Torah, without asking Hashem, they said, okay, let's go to Eretz Yisrael against Moshe Rabbenu. We'll be like, start an Aliyah, not with Das Torah, starting Ma'apil, yeah? To go up the mountain, and Moshe said, don't be Ma'apil. No, don't go up the mountain, because the Emoiri will kill you. And so they did. You're going without Das Torah. You can't do Aliyah and do stuff without Das Torah, right? And they're Ma'apilim, they did it without asking Hashem. And he was one of the Ma'apilim, which means there was a sin. Ma'apilim was not as bad as Chilul Shabbos. He's doing an act which he thinks is good, to go to Eretz Yisrael and try to atone and balance the Meraglim. The Ma'apilim were the opposite Meraglim. Meraglim were those who want to stay in Chutz La'aretz in the comfort of their homes in Chutz La'aretz. Ma'apilim were those who go to Eretz Yisrael against Das Torah. So as bad as it wasn't as bad as Mechal Shabbos. It was a from guy. He wasn't Mechal Shabbos. So Rabbi Yehuda said, hey, let's give Tzlofchad a break. He wasn't that bad. It was only one of the Ma'apilim. That was the chit. Similar to that, we'll see a similar argument between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira in another scene from the Torah. It says about, that famous scene in Ba'aloischo at the end, Miriam speaks lashon Hara against Moshe, right? Moshe and Tzipora, the whole relationship. And then Aharon was listening to her, okay? Who got tzara'as? We all know, Miriam. seemingly not Aaron. Aaron didn't get tzara'as, but it does say Vayicharaf Hashem bam, 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 bam. Hashem was angry with them, meaning Miriam and Aaron. Vayelech, and then he went. He went away, meaning he didn't want to, show his shechina to Moshe to be present by Miriam and Aaron. And then what happened? Miriam got tzara'as. Melamed, it says them, plural. Melamed shaf Aaron nitztarea diva Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva says, you know why it says Hashem was angry with them, not just her? Aaron, it's true that it doesn't say that Aaron got tzara'as, but the Torah is hinting by saying them. He was angry with them, and she got tzara'as. That is, he also got tzara'as. Aaron also had tzara'as, and that's how Rabbi Akiva is learning it, and the Torah is alluding to it. Similar to what he just said now, says Rabbi ben Beseira to Rabbi Akiva, Akiva, ben kach uben kach ata osed litenes adin. Whether you are right or wrong in what you're saying, Hashem will punish you for what you're saying. Why? If you are right, and Aaron also got tzara'as, the Torah did not say got tzara'as. The Torah only said it about Miriam, not about Aaron. And we'll see later, because obviously Miriam was worse than Aaron. Miriam spoke, and she started it. Aaron was like listening sympathetically, but it wasn't so active, right? So the Torah is hiding Aaron's shame, and you have to tell it to the whole world. Yeah, you have to show it to everyone. Why? And if you happen to be wrong, yeah, and your idea of bam is just wrong, and I'll tell you what bam means, soon Rabbi Yehuda will, then your mamash saying false. You might say on Aaron, because I'm not sure b'chlal that you're right, that Aaron ever got tzara'as. And you're telling me that he did. So it's laz. Okay, so now the ball is in the court of Rabbi Yehuda. How does Rabbi Yehuda explain bam? It does say something was wrong with Aaron. When the end of the first wide line. It does say them, meaning Aaron also got some kind of a flag. That's Nazifa be'alma. Hashem did give him Nazifa, rebuke. Hashem rebuked Aaron and said, Aaron, this is wrong, because you are listening to lashon Hara. You're not supposed to listen to lashon Hara either, right? That's also. And you're listening to lashon Hara, and that was bad. Aaron got Nazifa, which is bad, but he didn't get tzara'as. And she, which was a bigger player, she got tzara'as too. She's the only one who got tzara'as. Only she got tzara'as. Tanya, let's see brisa that supports the first opinion. We will now see a brisa that supports Rabbi Akiva's opinion that Aaron did get tzara'as. Tanya kemad omar af Aaron nitztarea. Yeah, the brisa tells us that Aaron is also nitztarea. Dichtiv, vayifen Aaron el Miriam, vehine mitzara'as. Aaron turned into Miriam, and she too was mitzoras. Now, to yifen either means to turn, but yifen also means that it was cleared. What's lefanot et hashetach? You know in Hebrew, lefanot, to clear away, to go. Lefanot, go out. Yeah, lefanot et hashulchan, right? So basically, tana shepona mitzaraosoi. He was cleared from his tzara'as, yeah, and then looked at her, and she was still mitzoras. In other words, they both got tzara'as. His tzara'as was healed quicker than hers, right? Pona means, lifnot also means like to relate to something similar to me. I'm pointing to you means we're talking. Yeah, we're in the same boat, and then he's pointing to her. He got tzara'as, she got tzara'as. He got out of it very quickly, and she had a whole story. They had to wait 7 days, the whole meiser, right? Why? Because she was more of an active partner in the lashon Hara. Amar Rish Lakish. Now, Rish Lakish is on the same token of not speaking against others, and also to do with tzara'as. Amar Rish Lakish, a very, very famous line. A person who suspects people who are kosher, you give false suspicions, you have false suspicions of people. What happens to you? Lolenu, the person, he gets all kinds of blemishes, diseases, yeah. There's the physical punishment by Kodesh Baruch Hu. Pashup Pshat is by Hashem. Yeah. Hashem may punish you corporal punishment. How do you know? How do you know it's true? It says here, now let's go back to the scene of Moshe Rabbenu in the sneh. Whole conversation with Kodesh Baruch Hu, the sneh is burning, and Moshe is talking to Kodesh Baruch Hu himself in Parashat Shmos, and there's a long argument there between Hashem and Moshe Rabbenu. And one of the arguments of Moshe Rabbenu is, you want to send me to Mitzrayim? Come on, they're not going to believe me. Those Bnei Yisrael there in Mitzrayim, they're not going to believe me when I tell them I'm the Redeemer. They think, oh, I'm wrong, I'm false. That was the time of Moshe Rabbenu. They won't believe me and my message. The Gali Kame Kodesh Baruch Hu, Hashem knows the Mehemni Israel. Hashem knows the Bnei Israel are Ma'aminim, and they are believers. And Moshe was wrong for suspecting them for being non-believers. Omar Loi, Hashem told Moshe, Hen, they, you're talking about them, my children, Ma'aminim b'nei Ma'aminim. They are children, they are Ma'aminim, children of Ma'aminim, as the Gemara will elaborate soon. The Ata in Seif Chalamin. You are the one who will eventually have some kind of Moshe Rabbenu. Can you imagine? You, Moshe Rabbenu, you, to some level, you will be lacking in your emunah. Everything will be explained. Everything will be explained right now. And Bnei Yisrael ma'aminim d'chtiv yamin ha'am. If you remember Parshas Shmos, the first reaction of Bnei Yisrael, the first, before all the balagan started, they believed. The first time Moshe Rabbenu told them, I'm the Redeemer, Ekesh Eke, they believed him, and they were excited. Later on, the avodah got worse, and then they got suspicious, understandably so. And then there was all balagan. But Lamaisa, the first reaction was the Munah. The first reaction was like in the war, right? Since October, people at the beginning, with a lot of ischaskus, people did tshuva. The first reaction for a tzah or for a promise, ma'aminim, b'nei Yisrael ma'aminim, b'nei ma'aminim. Why are we called the children of Aminim? Avram Avinu, ve'amin ba'Hashem, v'chshev lo tzedakah. Avram Avinu, he was the father of Emunah. If not Avram, who was a bigger believer than Avram? So we have the tchun of Avram Avinu believing in Hashem. Ato, you Moshe Rabbenu, you suspect them. Ato ein sof chalamin. At the end of the day, you will be a little bit faulty with your Emunah. Shneema yan le'emantim bilakdisheni. What was the whole avera of Mei Meriva? There are about 5,000 explanations. Well, whichever way there's a bit of lack of Emunah. Yeah, Hashem told him to speak, and he says he tried. He didn't. I'm saying superficially, I'm not going with Hashem's idea. I'll go for something else to hit the rock. It's a little bit of lack relative to the unbelievable Darga Moshe Rabbenu. It was a bit of chesar in Emunah. Try harder. Speak again. Hashem told you to speak. Believe in the koich Hashem gave you to speak, and not it. Right? And Hashem says, Lo emantim. What's written in the Torah? You and Aharon did not believe in me enough to do as I told you, and to speak to the rock. And therefore, you're not going to come to Eretz Yisrael. So you see what? Moshe Rabbenu was not punished. At the end of the day, he was a little bit less of a maimin. But we said, where do you see that Moshe Rabbenu got any kind of physical blemish? The next thing HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbenu, again, back to the scene at the sneh, put your hand in your bosom, in your clothing in your bosom, and what's going to happen there exactly? Tzara'as. It's true that, he got tzara'as. It's true that the tzara'as seem to be only like some kind of nace exercise to show Moshe Rabbenu the nisim, but why did it have to choose tzara'as? Yeah, Hashem could have told him, look, a crown is going to grow in your head and go up and down. And all kinds of nisim can happen. Why dafka tzara'as? Tzara'as shows Moshe Rabbenu is suspecting the Israel. You're going to get some kind of physical blemish, i.e., tzara'as, even as a temporary punishment to symbolize a little bit the fact you spoke against Klal Yisrael. It's short-term tzara'as, but it's not pleasant. Yeah, it's not pleasant, right? And they're like a pinch to show Moshe Rabbenu, to show all of us. If we suspect others, then we get some kind of chlila, corporal punishment. Amarove, more agadata before we start the big business. Amarove, sorry. Amarove, more on the subject of what? More on the subject. Amarove, Vitem Rabbi Yosef bar Chanina. Rove or Rabbi Yosef bar Chanina, they also they tell us more about the scene of Moshe Rabbenu. Mida toiva memaher slovo mimidas poronus. When Hashem brings you something good, it comes quicker than something bad. Yeah, in other words, Hashem sometimes wants to deliver good to us, and sometimes something bad. Between the time that Hashem decides it's going to happen, the Midah Toiva, it's more of a rush delivery, and the one with the Midah Ra, the bad stuff is like the Israeli Post, much slower. Okay. The Ilu, the Midas Poronus, look at Moshe Rabbenu. B'midas Poronus, ksiv, b'midas Poronus it says about Moshe Rabbenu. Listen carefully to the words. V'yitzio v'ine yodoi metzoras kashelin. Meaning, Moshe Rabbenu, Hashem told him, put your hand in your bosom, look over here, right? Take it out. only after Moshe Rabbenu took out his hand, from here, then it got tzara'as. Then he was, afflicted with tzara'as. The Hil B'Mida Toiva, as opposed to when Hashem told him to put his hand back in, and now his hand is going to heal. There's a little bit of a difference in the words. The B'Mida Toiva ksiv, B'Mida Toiva of healing the tzara'as being cured. It says v'tzio mecheikoi v'nei shava kibsoroi mecheikoi hu shava kibsoroi, which means when it got better, it says once the hand was not completely out, once the hand just got out of the cheko, the depth of his elbow and his chest, already then it got better, quicker than the other way. When it got sick, you have to get it totally out. Then it got tzara'as. When it got better, right from the chek, from the beginning of the, of the journey out of his chek, already there, boom, right away, it got better. That shows you the taiva comes quicker. That's the idea, because Hashem is a Rahman, Av Rahman. Hashem's own name, Yud Ke Vav Ke, is Midas Rachamim. Elokim is Midas Adin. It's a secondary name. Another last thing for the Agadata today. Vayivla mate Aharon es matoisom omer blozo nes betoch nes. It says when they did the exercise in front of Paroi, then Aaron's mate, Aaron's staff, from Tanin, from being a crocodile or a snake, got back into being a stick, a staff, and as a staff, it swallowed all the other snakes of the other mechashvim, of the khartumim, of the wizards. One miracle inside the other. Why? You have the miracle of, even if he was a snake, one snake to eat so many snakes in one go, that's impossible, right? How many snakes can one snake eat? And secondly, it wasn't a snake, it was a staff, to show that there's no limit to the nisim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Nes inside the nes, Hashem's nisim are, unbelievable. There's another nes, b'toich nes, that's when Hanani, Mishael, and Azariah, when they were supposed to worship Avodah Zarah, and they were thrown into the fire, Hanani, Mishael, and Azariah, at the palace of the king. So it says that the fire, they were inside the fire, and they were walking there like Avram and Kivshan Eish, and the one who made the fire, so to speak, cold was Gavriel, who's Sar Shel Eish. It's a Gemara in Psochim. Gavriel, who's in charge of fire, he said, the fire will burn very strong, and yet it will not burn. It's the fire got even stronger with personal attention from Gavriel, the fire master, and yet it didn't burn, and the people outside did burn. Those close to the fire, they burned from being so close to the souls. When Hashem wants, anything can happen. Even Mashiach can come today. Now we're going back to our Heilige Mishnah. You have it, Akiva. Chule. The line starts with Chule and the two dots. It's about 10 lines or so from the wide lines of Tzadi Zayin Amud Aleph Masechet Shabbos. Let's remember what the Mishnah said, nice and slow. I don't know if we'll finish the Amud today or not. I'm sorry. We'll do our best, but we have to get it right. What did we say in the Mishnah? In the Mishnah, if you remember, we have a few issues there in the Mishnah. What happens when you throw something from Reshus HaYochid to another Reshus HaYochid, over Reshus HaRabim? There's a discussion between Rabbi Akiva and Chachamim. Chachamim seem to be more lenient, Rabbi Akiva seems to be more mechayev. And we spoke about two issues. Let's just get general, then we'll, pigeonhole each thing. First of all, if you throw from Reshus HaRabim to Reshus HaRabim Reshus HaYochid to Reshus HaYochid via Reshus HaRabim, if it's within 10 tefachim to the ground, the object is passing through a Reshus HaRabim. And even though it did not land in Reshus HaRabim, there's a concept called Kluta Kamishahuncha, which may be Rabbi Akiva's idea to say you're chayiv. If it's absorbed in the air of Reshus HaRabim, it's as if it fell on the floor and bounced back. It's absorbed enough to be called in Reshus HaRabim. Now, we spoke about another issue, and that was that even if you don't believe in that, there's another issue. If you remember, in the Mishkan, they had Reshus HaYochid by the shape of an agola, a cart, and that was in front of or behind another cart. The Levim would pass kroshim, the beams, from one to the other this way, directly, not across the street, but one after the other, like a train, okay? And if you do that, if you do Hoshata even above a third tefachim, even above a sort tefachim, because that's what they did in the Mishkan. They did ha'avora from Yochid to Yochid via Rishus Rabim, even via Mokum Tu, Chazer Re'eh Kadesh. That's what they did in the Mishkan, so we have to be chayiv on that. Now there could be another question. In the Mishkan, they did not throw, but maybe we can learn Zoyrek Mimoishit. In other words, maybe the reason Rabbi Akiva is mechayev, and maybe Rabbanon would agree to that. It's also a question: would we say that throwing an object? Let's say two kids are playing ball, yeah, and one balcony is in front of a head, yeah, one after the other balcony. They're playing catch. They're playing whatever, catch the ball. Yeah, one is throwing the ball from his milpeset to the other child's milpeset, and they have to be 13 years old. That could be even lamala ma'asora, maybe just like in the Mishkan, Moshe to Kulam is chayiv, because that happened in the Mishkan. Maybe zoyrek, maybe throwing can be learned from Moishit, just like passing is chayiv, maybe throwing is also chayiv, or maybe not. These are the two issues, and we'll now see nice and slow how it works into the Mishnah, these concepts. Let's see. Boy Rabba. Rabba has a question. Lemata, how do you define? Now, what did we see at the beginning of the Mishnah? That according to Rabbi Akiva, you chayev if you throw from Yochid to Yochid by Rabbim. According to Chachamim, you're potter. Made by Rabba. There are two ways. There are really three ways to learn the Mishnah. Rabbi is suggesting 2 out of 3 ways. Listen carefully. Lemata me'asoro pligi. Maybe the argument between Rabbi Akiva and Chachamim is when you throw from Yochid to Yochid via the real Rishus Rabim. What's real Rishus Rabim? Within 10 tefachim from the ground, up to 10 tefachim from the ground, and that's a machloikis. What's a machloikis? That's a machloikis. The Malsova, Rabbi Akiva believes, Amrinan kluta k'mal shehuncha. If the object is flying in the air, absorbed in the air, it's as if it lied on the floor, and you just did a kira and anacha. You're chayiv. Umalsova. According to Chachamim, no, we don't believe in this Torah. I'm sorry, flying in the air is not called resting. Didn't rest in the air, so you're not chayav when it is below 10. What would be if you threw it above 10? You threw the object above 10 within Mokum to Yochid, even in the same direction, above 10 tefachim. Divrei hakol potur. Wow. Everyone agrees, and that's a seif of the Mishnah. If you remember, everyone agrees, you potu. V'lo yalfinan zorik v'moishit. Zorik is zorik, moshit moishit. When you moishit, when you hand it nice and slow and carefully to the other person, you're chayev. But to throw above 10 tefachim, you're not chayev. Why? Mitzad mokum tur. It's mokum tur. Mokum tur, you're never chayev. You tell me, there's a kosuv of the Mishkan. That's only Moishit, not Zoyrek. So according to opinion number 1, I wish I had time today to make a chart, but I didn't. I'm sorry. Yeah, I barely managed to come to the shir today. In any event, but basically it is as follows. The only machlokes is Rabbi Akiva below 10 as his original chidush of Klutuk Mishuncha. Chachamim don't believe in it. And above 10, nobody thinks it's an issue to throw. So make a chart in your minds. Below 10, according to Rabbi Akiva, tik Yuchayev. Chachamim say, no Klutuk Mishuncha. We don't believe in that. Above 10, bah. Nobody believes that above 10 there's any issue of Zoyrek. Why? Zoyrek above 10 is Mokum too. You tell me in the Mishkan? No. In the Mishkan they were handing it nice and carefully. They didn't throw. What they did in the Mishkan they did. What they didn't. So according to Chachamim, you always potu. Always. Yeah. Above or below 10, nothing happened. According to Rabbi Akiva, below 10, we say because you're really in the Erev Rishut Rabim, you are chayiv mitzad Klutuk Mishuncha. That's way number 1. Number 1. Oi, Dilma, or maybe, lemala masoro pligi. Another alternative way, Rabbi is in doubt. Rabbi don't know which way is right to read the Mishnah. Oi, Dilma, or maybe, lemala masoro pligi. Really, they argue above 10. Ubehopligi, that's a machlokes. The masova yalfin and zorik v'moishit. Get it? Rabbi Akiva says even if you're above 10, your merpeset is in the 15th floor of the Manhattan building. Yeah, let's say there's no air. I don't know. Whatever, let's say there's no air in Manhattan. I don't know. Yeah, and what? And now the next merpeset next door is what? Is above Mokum Tur. It's Mokum Tur, and you throw it. You're chayiv. Why chayiv? We learned zorik v'moishit. In the Mishkan they handed it. And you throw it, okay, you can learn one from the other. Very good. No, according to Chachamim, no. Above 10, Zorik is Zorik, Moishit is Moishit. In the Mishkan, they handed it, They didn't throw it, you're not chayev. אבל למטה מיוד דברי הכל חייב. מתי מקלוט כמו שהוא חדמיה? Or, according to the second way, everyone agrees that below 10 you are chayev, because below 10 kluta kamishuncha. Nothing to do with the Mishkan. It's just the philosophy, the way we look at it. According to the second way, what's the chart? Below 10, tick, tick, chayev, chayev. We all believe in kluta kamishuncha. The only machlokes is what? Rabbi Kiva puts another tick means you are chayev. V, tick. You are chayev above 10. Rabbi Kiva is always mechayev you. Below 10, klutik mishuncha. It's mamash within Rosh Hashanah. Above 10, oy v'voy. You learn zorik mimoshit. Yeah, zorik is chayev as much as moshit. What? Above 10, according to Rabbi Kiva, is chayev, and according to Chachamim, above 10 is potu. Why? Because they say no, we don't learn zorik mimoshit. In the Mishkan, it's a chiddush. Above 10, I can do whatever I want above 10. The Torah is mechadish. That's only in the Mishkan. They did moshit. I don't learn zorik from there. Zorik is zorik. It's different, and therefore that's the second way to learn it. Don't sweat over it, because we're anyhow going to go through these two ways again and again. Yeah, these are the two ways to read the Mishnah. Yeah, do we say that they argue in what? They argue in Klutu Kamishuncha? Yes or no? But above 10, you for sure potu lekula alma. Or do we say no, the other way around? They all agree Klutu Kamishuncha below 10. And Rabbi Kiva says even a top floor, even above that, you chayev also above 10 because zorik mimoshit. And Chachamim say you potter zorik mimoshit above 10. You potter and zrik above 10. Let's see nice and slow how it goes. Okay. Omar Yosef. These are the two. Really, by the way, what's the third way to read the Mishnah? Very easy. Without making much response. You can say they're arguing both. Rabbah does not entertain that thought, but the Gemara will later. Maybe they're arguing both. No? I'm asking. Sorry. Maybe they argue also Klutuk Mishun, yes or no. And also they argue above 10, Zorik Mimoshit, yes or no. You could say that. Rabbah doesn't, but you could, right? Okay. Just keep it in the back burner. Okay. Omar Rav Yosef, says Rav Yosef, yeah. Hamilsa, that exact concept, the exact same thing, Ibaila Rav Chisda. Rav Chisda had the exact same question of how to read the Mishnah, how to explain Mechlokas of the Mishnah. Upashtan Yalei Rav Imnuna Meho. Rav Imnuna basically answered from the following Braisa. Listen to the following Braisa. What happens in the following case? Listen to this. What happens when you go in Reshus Harabim? I forgot that tissue again the clean tissue in my pants pocket, and where am I walking? In a place of no eruv. Ooh, and I'm walking from Reshus HaYochid to Vayir Reshus Harabim to another Reshus HaYochid. Yeah? What happens then? Reshus HaYochid, Vayir Reshus Harabim. I'm not stopping in Reshus Harabim. No. I'm continuing to another Reshus HaYochid, another street, another ownership, another place. What's the halacha? Let's see. Reshus HaYochid, Reshus HaYochid. Ve'oiver Reshus Harabim atzmo. Atzmo means the object you're holding, the tissue, or whatever, is within 10 tefachim to the ground. You're not throwing it. You're carrying it in your hand or in your pocket, and you are walking from Yochid to Yochid via Rabim. Okay. In the Reshus Harabim itself, Rabbi Kiva is mechayev. Rabbi Kiva is mechayev you for walking through Reshus Harabim from Yochid to another Yochid. The question is, why am I chayev? I didn't stop in Reshus Harabim. There's no hanoch in Reshus Harabim. So I saw the Ramban inside twice, 3 times, and the Ramban says, unbelievable. Remember Ben Azai? We had him recently, we had him a long time ago. Ben Azai has this tremendous chiddush that even one step in Reshus Harabim, it's as if you're nach forever. Remember? If I'm walking, mehalech ki oimid dami. That's Ben Azai in Daf Hey. If I walk every step of the way, it's as if I rested completely. So since I'm not an Olympic jumper, I don't jump the whole Reshus Harabim. I'm actually walking in the Reshus Harabim. Every time I walk, it's like hanocho. So when I walk from Reshus HaYochid to Reshus Harabim, I'm doing hanocho. In Reshus Harabim, and Rabbi Kiva supports Ben Azai. They're same family, right? It's fair. So Rabbi Kiva holds your chayiv. Very nice. The Chachamim poitrim. Chachamim say, no, you potter. What do you want from his life, right? He's potter. Why? Because they're not chayiv for walking through Reshus Harabim. They don't believe in that. Yeah. Now Zok the Gemara. What does that have to do with us? How does that prove our point? We had a question. Midika Omer b'Reshus Harabim atzmo. Since Rabbi Akiva stresses inside Reshus Harabim, pshita lemata me'asoro pligi. Oh. They argue dafka within Asoro. They're arguing about seemingly kluta kamisha huncha within Asoro. It doesn't make sense though to say kluta kamishuncha, right? Because kluta kamishuncha is when you throw it, not when you hold it. Therefore, the Gemara is going to build up to that pshat, saying ubemai. What exactly is the case here? Ilema b'mavir, the pasuk pshat we just said. Oiver b'shus harabim. If you're telling me, like I said, which is the pasuk pshat of the brisa, the guy takes the objects and mavir, he walks with it in Roshus Harabim. Lemata masor de mechayev, lemala masor lo mechayev. What happens if I hold my phone? Ever occurred to you? Do you know that Baruch Hashem we're all tall people, and if I hold something, a tissue thing, in my shirt pocket, it's above a sorrow. Occurred to you, my friends? When you walk in the street in, I don't know, a place with no air of, I don't know, Idaho Falls, wherever, yeah? And you walk in Roshus Harabim, no problem. I'll walk with anything above 10 tefachim. That's above 10 tefachim. That's above 10 tefachim. Good. No. What did you guys learn? I think there was a day when I wasn't here. In Daf Tzadi Beis Amud Aleph, Lemala Masoro, you also chayev. It's a special chiddush in the Torah. V'amar Ablozo, hamoitzi maser lemala masoro chayev, sheken maser b'nei kehos. The Gemara Daf Tzadi Beis Amud Aleph told us that since the Levim were tall people and they held the Aharon, the Aharon Kodesh, above 10 tefachim from the ground, 10 tefachim is not so much. Yeah, it's not that tall, not that high. So you see that even when you carry something above 10 tefachim, you are chayev. So why does the Gemara tell? The Brisa says b'toich hasara. If you have a machlokes yes or no ben azay me'alech goyimid, just like lamata maso, so is lamala maso. What's the big trust, the big balagan here of dafka stressing within 10? Ela, we're going to finish now. Ela lav bezoyrek. We must change the pshat of the brisa. We're not talking about a guy who's passing it, walking with it, because then would be mechayiv also above 10. If you're holding it and you're walking, you chayiv also above 10 because it's all connected to the ground through your feet. Your feet and your hands hopefully are connected. I hope, yeah. Elamai, we're talking. When do we differentiate between below 10 and above 10? Bingo. When you throw it, because of kluta kamishuncha, zoyrek, whizzing through, that's called, it's like absorbed in the air. Rabbi Gava says, you chayiv. The Chachamim say, no, only, you're not chayiv below 10, because they don't believe in kluta kamishuncha. And that is a machloikes. Well, lemata masoro de mechayev, lemala masoro lo mechayev. Below 10, yes, Rabbi Akiva. Above 10, no. V'shmamina b'kluta kamishuncha, pligi shmamina. We're really, really behind. Opinion number 1, bingo. What's machloikes of Rabbi Akiva and Chachamim? One machloikes. Opting for what's one shot? They argue within kluta kamishuncha, says Rabbi Akiva, yes, you're chayiv, if throw it within 10, because once it entered the airspace of within 10, you're caught, boom. And it's kluta kamishuncha, says Rabbi Akiva, you're chayiv. And according to Chachamim, you're potter. What about above 10? Everyone says it's potter. Because we don't learn zoyrik mimoshit. Special chiddush Torah of Malcolm 2 is only b'moshit, not b'zoyrik. We're way behind. I don't know what to do. And anyway, Hashem, we'll continue tomorrow from we're finished off today. I don't think we should finish. We'll try and catch up. Anyway, Hatzlacha, Bracha, thank you very much. And thank you for coming. Kol hakavod, you're coming, Ben Azmanim. Very nice. Thank you to people on Torah anytime.